Swastiastu. Good morning, everyone. Today will debate with the topic: the drug user should be punished in prison. Before we go to the topic, let me introduce ourselves first. My name is Pande Made Elpira Pradnya Suari, and my partner names is.
My name is Made Astini.
And then we have the debate. In my opinion, about the drug user should be punished in prison, I agree with that statement because the reason number one, according to the information I read on the website in the internet, namely ejournal.peraturan.go.id, the number of drug users in Indonesia currently has reached 3.66 million people in 2021. And that is not a small number. The reason number two, therefore, every user and dealer must be punished because in Indonesia, drugs are illegal and are regulated in Law number 35 of 2009 concerning narcotics. The most severe punishment for drug user and dealer is the death penalty. And the death penalty for drug dealers does not conflict with human rights because it doesn't conflict with International Convention on Civil and Political Rights So that the death penalty can be applied in Indonesia. If no punishment is given, then there is no different effect for user and dealers. And people will assume that using drug is a natural thing, should be imprisoned because the drug because the drug user might commit a crime that endanger others, and the nature of this drug will continue make user educated and will do everything to get it. However, often a person who is arrested turn out to have more drugs than the minimum required stated in Surat Edaran Mahkamah Agung or SEMA, stating that the category of drug user for sabu is if one day they consume a maximum of 1 gram and 5 gram for ganja. The last reason or number three, especially now the target of drug is teenagers, and this is also aims to reduce the number of users. So the conclusion about my opinion is prison is indeed the best alternative for drug users and dealers. Imprisonment for several years, for the example, 1 year until 4 years, but if there is consideration, for example, the drug user use or distribute more than 1 gram of sabu and 5 gram of ganja, or commit a crime, prison sentence can be commuted to death penalty.
All right, thank you, Elpira, for sharing the opinion. In my opinion, the drug user should be punished in prison. I'm totally not agree with that statement. Drugs are the substances that are change a person's mental or physical stage. They can affect to the user brain work, feeling, behavior, understand, and sense. In this digital area, the distribution of drugs is in many ways that cause increasing the number of the user significantly. The user is not only in adult, but also the teenager, which is in school or in college. As the data that I got from Berita Satu, that said that 20% of drug users are coming from college or student. In my point of view, I totally not agree with the statement before. The user of any kind of drug shouldn't be in a prison, especially who are still in school or in college. Why? The first reason that I can say is mental health. When someone goes to prison or involved in any criminal activities, it will have a serious impact on their mental health. They will be afraid to develop their talent in the future, especially when they are is still in child. So from rri.co.id, there are statement says that uh, the children, when they are going to the prison, it's more dangerous because they are live long distance with their parent as well. The second reason, when we give a prison punishment to them, that will bring effect of afraid for the user to report themselves as a user, and that has potentially to um, influence their friend to use the drug as well. As the data that I read from BNN Indonesia, many people are still afraid to report themselves as a narcotic addicted because of fear being imprisoned. The third reason is the best way for me is not a prison, but the rehabilitation. So the government should be provide free rehabilitation for the drug user that will bring good impact for our generation as well. As the data that I read from Public ID, that the NNP is Java successfully rehabilitated 912 drug addicted. That is the special, an amazing amount of the rehabilitate that will minimize the drug user significantly. So the conclusion of my opinion is the best way is not giving them prison punishment, but giving them free rehabilitation. With that law, the drug user will not afraid to report themselves as a user, and also the government will be easier to give the rehabilitation and minimizing the number of drug users in Indonesia. Thank you.
All right, that's all our debate, and we are close with Paramasanti.
Oh,
Santi,
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 Santi.
Santi. Oh.